Coming up,
We have taken a report of a robbery.
policing the Euros.
Now I've damaged unknown offender or whereabouts.
As tempers flare, officers come under pressure,
Either you catch him or I'll catch him and I'll fly.
and boozed up football fans
You'll bite your nose off.
Taking the keys off. You're not having the keys, okay?
lose control.
Pack it in! Pack it in!
Police emergency. What weapons have they got in the hand? Where is he now?
With drunken violence a constant pressure on cops across the UK, during the month of the Euros, officers are stretched to the limits.
We've had a call from a male at Wise, one at Ashbourne. Been threatened with a baseball bat.
14 miles northwest of Derby, traffic cops Chris Wells-Jackson and Dave Shaw are responding to a report of a drunken fight.
There's an allegation of drink driving, but mating has been threatened with a baseball bat.
They're dangerous. We don't know whether you've got weapons. We've got to take appropriate action to deal with that.
The suspects have escaped in a black Golf.
Ops units be advised with this vehicle showing to have no insurance. We do have warning markers on it for weapons, knives, carries all of them. If you do stop that vehicle, just to be aware.
We're aware of this vehicle because it failed to stop for road policing a couple of days ago, so we've got an interest in this vehicle. But obviously there's a high risk it failed to stop with it. LA Oscar Tango 15. Just in case this vehicle's cited for the log for suit management trained marked vehicle.
From an 8 to all units monitoring this channel, we've just had an ANPR hit with this vehicle.
Units deployed now across Ashbourne doing a search.
Hey, Tango 49.
Close by, Chris spots the car.
CPR and this Golf. Got contact. A52. Contact.
Straight away the hair stand up on the back of your neck and you think, I need to stay with it because this guy's dangerous.
A52 travelling towards Ashbourne.
Chris tails the Golf while Dave races to assist.
I'm going to try and find a suitable spot to get a stinger ready.
First to first, A52 towards Wakefield.
I'm in Mayfield with a stinger.
He is 60 to the 40.
Come on.
We're now into staff, it's a near side indication, but he's failed to take that near side.
He's gone past the end of the road.
He's continuing into the 50s, it's now Swinscoe Hill.
With the suspect avoiding the stinger, Chris needs backup.
Right. Down here, track. It is Birds Grave Lane. Lift it up, vehicle is failing to stop. MH01 monitoring, failed to stop, pursuits authorised, continue the alley. Speed is 50, single track road, no traffic or pedestrian.
The driver, he clearly knows where he is and I don't know what his plan is. I don't know where he's heading towards. I can only second guess what he's going to do.
Yeah, to the right. I can't see how many occupants there are. The vehicle is being driven quite steadily. Speed now 60.
Driving 60, 70 mile an hour around country roads. He's driving on the wrong side of the road. I need to bring it to a conclusion before he puts it through somebody's house.
Speed's increased now, so I think he's just trying to get some ground down into the camp.
There's a big dip in that road that if he hits it at speed, he's going to take off and he's going to end up in a field.
As the dangers increase, Chris is forced to back off.
Temporary loss, we're over a narrow bridge, off round to the offside over the narrow bridge. Total loss.
The earliest opportunity, he's going to ditch that car and he's going to run.
He's going into that car park.
The suspects have dumped the Golf and disappeared.
We've now got to get an area search conducted.
While Chris begins searching,
Coming all the way around. Oh, there's the car, look.
Dave and other units arrive to help hunt for the runaway.
Just be aware, there's a dog on the ground. If you go to your right, you've got a colleague to interrupt.
He's got warning markers for being involved in other incidents in the past. The incident tonight involves a possible baseball bat, so straight away you're thinking, even if we do get hold of this guy, is he going to be violent? Is he going to use weapons towards us? What is he capable of and what is he willing to do to get away?
Get up now!
I've located one there, I'm just trying to get to him.
Chris, have you got the driver?
Tis him, he's admitted it to. Do not bring the dog here. You're under arrest.
Yeah, no.
Failing start, dangerous drive, okay, you don't say anything, my own defence, you don't mention one question. Took to electronic court to you, so maybe giving an evidence.
That. I've got a cut here on my top of my eye.
How have you done that?
I can't tell you that, can I?
One of them, is it?
Hey, what?
Right, stand.
Get over here.
Stand there, I'm going to help you have it.
You know what, I like you. You know what? You're the best copper I've had. Can you take the handcuffs off so I can run?
No.
Tell you what, I'm pissed wet for it.
Well, whose fault's that?
You love chasing me. Hey, up, how are you?
I'm alright, look, how are you?
Bit cold.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what do you think I am? Warm? Go on, swap trousers with me.
Do you think I'm going to do that?
Go on.
You're attracting all the bugs and everything, look.
Hey, I'm not bothered. That's your lies.
What, you doing to your head anyway?
I'm not taking no comment.
No comment?
No comment.
Oh, aren't you smart?
Hey, smart, hey.
Just sit down, chill out.
I'm chilled out, I just don't want to... Can I stand here instead?
No, I don't want you that close to me. Go and stand over here. Don't come and get in my...
Don't bother now.
Stand there.
Do, I'll headbutt your bite your nose off.
Really?
Yeah, well come here closer. Come here closer.
You just need to
come
calm
here
yourself
closer.
down.
Yeah, and I'm calm. And I'm stood next to you, and you've grabbed me. Go on then. Look, yeah, I'm standing with you, and I've just stood next to you. Get your arm off me.
You don't come and stand next to me like that.
Yeah,
all right?
Told you.
Relax.
And I was 2 metres away, you prick.
Relax.
Come here closer and I'll bite your nose off.
Relax.
Look, tell him, I'm standing with you, don't get near me again. I'm telling you now.
Chill out.
No. Tell him, get gone. Listen, look, what's your name? Chris, tell him to go now and I'll be calm. Yeah, and I'm calm.
If you don't get control of somebody quickly, then you don't know what they're capable of doing. So at the same time as he's being aggressive towards Dave, I've still got to keep calm with him and keep him sort of on my side.
Will you just calm down for me a second?
Calm yourself down and we'll get you up.
I'm sound.
Right, let's get you up then and try again.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't even know what your first name is. What's your first
I'm
name?
not going to tell you my first name, and don't you ever say that, Chris.
Conversation's over there.
Right, Chris? No, because I don't want to speak to you.
You don't come and stand.
I don't want to speak
that close.
to you.
It's threatening.
No, Chris, tell him now.
Don't work like that.
You wait till custody now when my handcuffs are off. I'm going to whack you straight up in the...
All right, that's good. You just need to calm down.
Yeah, I'm calm.
Right?
I'm calm.
Well, you're not, are you?
You're being aggressive.
You're shouting, you're making threats.
No, it's not
and you're being aggressive.
It's not a threat, it's a promise.
And you're being aggressive. I'm not.
You're going to talk to me now.
Chris, I've got respect for you. I've got respect for... I've got no respect for you.
I don't want your respect. All right? We're here to look after you and calm you down.
Right, I suspect you've been driving loads of people on the road, okay? I suspect, suspect you've been driving a motor vehicle on the road, okay? Potentially have to eat alcohol in your body. You're required to provide with sample breath analysis, okay?
No, I'm alright, thank you.
You're going to fail to provide?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
No, I don't like... He's got asthma.
Okay, I still have to arrest you further for failing to provide though, because I'm asking you to provide for me.
No, I just said you can do
You're telling me you can't blow into this for about
Asthma.
5 seconds?
I've got asthma.
You want to have a go?
No.
Okay then.
You can do your blood, whatever you do.
Just along the course. I can't take your blood at road. I'm not a qualified
Hey, we're not in the road, so
I'm not a nurse. I can't take your blood. So, feel under arrest, fail to provide, okay?
How are you?
Denying any knowledge of the car, driving, anything. He's failed to provide. He's saying that he's got asthma, but that's not a medical reason at this point not to try and even provide a sample of breath. He's just being awkward about it. Thinks of alcohol, he's clearly been drinking. He'll be down to an interview in the morning, and there'll be an element of dependency on the officer that saw the vehicle earlier on as well, if he can identify who the driver was. So, some inquiries to do.
Go on, top and all.
Despite his denials, the man is taken to custody for questioning. Coming up,
I will drive his car home.
Not if you had a drink, you won't, will you?
Yes, I will.
a drunken football fan refuses to play ball.
He's off.
You're not having the keys.
Okay.
And cup final night chaos
Now I've damaged unknown offender or whereabouts.
puts lives at risk.
Pack it in! Now! Pack it in!
Are you behind it, Ned?
With the nation gripped by football fever, throughout the Euros, drink drivers and drunken assaults are keeping the traffic cops as busy as ever.
Yeah, you've got it stopped.
It's quarter-finals night. PC Carl Jackson's on his way to help a colleague with a suspected drink driver.
There's reports about a BMW that's drink driving into the Alfreton area. Another unit is with it now, so we'll just go and join him. It's still a common thing, unfortunately, drink driving. We deal with them all the time, and it's frustrating. We've got Euros on at the minute, so plenty of football for people to watch down the pub that still decide to drive home. I'm with him now.
Whilst a colleague deals with the driver, Carl speaks to the passenger who's the owner of the car.
Basically, I've had a beer.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of beer.
Yeah.
I've not been driving this car.
Okay.
My mate has. Just had a barney with the missus.
Yeah.
I will drive his car home.
You'll drive what car home?
My car.
Not if you had a drink, you won't, will you?
Yes, I will.
Well, no, you won't.
Yes, I will.
Why will you? You get locked up if you're going to try and do that.
Right, well, listen, mate, I'm not here to argue. Right, am I?
Well, you are at the minute, that's all you're doing.
Instantly with this chap, I know he's going to be a difficult character. He uses language in a sense that he's in charge. He's dictated to me what's going to happen and how things are going to work.
Right, okay. Well, you can't drive that. Give me them keys then.
No.
I think you're going to drive it. You're a risk.
Not gonna drive
so we just said you are. Twice you've told me that now. So give me them keys.
I'm not going to drive it. Listen, I'm not a violent person, so I don't know what you're grabbing me for.
Right. If you're not violent, that's fine. I want those
Right.
keys, please.
I've never been done by the coppers at all. At all.
Well, that's commendable.
Right.
There's no reason for you to get done now, is there?
Listen, lad, I've got my opinion on you lot.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah? It's not very good.
Okay.
Right.
With the man refusing to hand over the car keys, there's an update on his drunk friend.
Have you seen him driving it?
Yeah, he's driving.
Yeah, but you've seen him...
That's my car, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's failed it, so he's going to custody.
Yeah, I want the keys. Has he got insurance to drive it?
No, he ain't got licence or insurance.
Right,
I've got insurance, I've got licence, I've had it 15 years, no claim.
Give me them keys, please.
Please.
Give me them keys, please. Listen,
Okay.
you're drunk and you
I am
threatened to drive that car.
I have openly
It's
said
been
I'm
driven
drunk. I'm
with.
not
It's
drunk.
been driven by somebody without a licence or insurance, so it's going to get seized.
What do you mean by seized?
As in seized, taken away. I want keys for that car.
No, you're not having the keys. You're not having the keys to my car,
Jen,
mate.
I'm telling you now,
Oh,
you're not
God.
going to be violent like that with my colleague, okay? We'll be taking the keys off.
You're
yeah?
not having
We
these.
will. Okay. All right. There's no swearing in a public place either. All right. We are taking the keys off here.
Listen.
You could have just given them to me.
Right, put them in your pocket now.
Right.
Stop telling everyone what they're doing.
I'll look after
We're
the
in
keys.
charge of what's happening, not you.
I'll look
Okay.
after the keys.
God knows how much he had to drink, but he's very, very drunk. Telltale sign of the drunkenness is we tend to almost be on a loop explaining things over and over and over again as to why certain things are happening, and it just doesn't register with drunk people.
Do you want to be honest with you?
Who did the vehicle come back to, please?
I have been involved with, locked up with the cops before with football banning order, racism, Asian.
His attitude then changes to be quite pleasant with me and chatting to me in a nice way, and then saying I'm actually all right, even though he hates police, I'm all right. And you kind of think, well, I'll run with this. We'll have a nice chat now and an easy time for 5 minutes.
That party going on there.
No, it's going on there.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
He goes back to being a difficult character again. It's just typical behaviour. It's what you get used to.
All right, the car's going to go on the back of that thing, and then I'll get the stuff out of it for you. Listen, you're not in charge here. The car is going on the back of the... No, you haven't. You've been all right with me for a little bit, but not from the start. And now you're turning again.
Mate, don't touch me. I mean, don't touch you.
Drive it. If you drive it on there, pal. Stand back here. Don't try and be hard.
Listen.
Stand here.
Listen.
I'll get the stuff out of it in a minute.
I'll come to the car with you.
You're not getting in the car.
You ready for me to reverse the car off? Come on.
You're not going to reverse it off, but you might sit in it and be a bit of an idiot. So stay there.
I think it's right then.
If you're going to get aggressive, then you can forget it.
Meat.
It's your car, mate. Forget it.
No, listen.
Either take it out or I'm shutting it, because this vehicle is now going. And you're going to delay it, I'm not going to let it.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Now you listen to what I'm saying. Either take it out of the boot or I'm going to shut the boot and you can forget about it.
Right, listen to what I'm saying, right?
You're not getting in the back of that car. And I think you're going to try and sit in it and then stop me from getting it recovered. And I'm going to end up locking you up, which I'm very tempted to do now anyway, because you're still obstructing me now.
I just want my stuff around.
You get your stuff tomorrow.
The RTC.
Yeah, fine, you need to go, pal. It's no good being nice now when you want something.
Chat me and you.
No, you can go. I've had enough of you. Car's going, you're going. Simple as that. You've been a pleasure. Put your belt on. Cheers, pal. Policing can be quite difficult when you're dealing with people who make things a lot harder than they need to be. Essentially, what was going to happen in that job was exactly what ended up happening. His car gets seized because he's allowed his mate to drive it, who has no licence or insurance. And on top of that, his mate was drunk anyway, so his mate's been locked up. But then, like a child, when he didn't get his own way, he throws his toys out of his pram and goes all mardy, and that's what he did. So essentially, he just made a bit of an idiot of himself.
NEOS Tango 26 for code 2.
Whether it's drink drivers or boozed up football fans fighting, dealing with the effects of drunken disorder often puts traffic cops like PC Chris Ryan in harm's way.
Sporting events in general, I would say, have a massive impact on policing.
Can I just have the incident number, please?
All you can hear is the radio constantly going.
Kicking off, mum's drunk, about to get in a vehicle and drive.
2 radios together with the amount of jobs coming in.
People talking, passing jobs, trying to get help.
NEOS Tango 26 for code 2. For at least the last 3 games, including this one, we've had to cancel hundreds of cops' rest days, bring them in when they should be at home with their families, merely because people can't behave themselves.
It's the quietest you'll ever find a police force during a big event like the Euros final. And afterwards, it'll be the busiest period you'll ever find in the police force.
20 minutes after the end of the penalty shootout, Chris is called into action.
Limited details, we've had loads of calls. We've now had a stabbing, unknown offender or whereabouts.
As you say, it's a report of a stabbing.
Here's some ops units travelling first instance. Here's the football unit travelling from town as well.
We've put on additional resources. We know it's going to be busy. We know there's going to be disorder. So we plan for that. But it doesn't mean that we have an endless supply of cops.
The special units that are on for football can't go to this because there's so many fights erupted generally around the city. Ultimately now we're going to this, which is a report of either a stabbing or a double stabbing. There's a bit of confusion over what's actually occurred. But it's at a pub or outside a pub, as expected.
As Chris approaches, more information comes in.
But I noticed on the log here, it's a route sure that's been mentioned. They're using that pub as one of their after football party type locations.
Yeah, I found the pub on State 6.
There's an ambulance here already. The main thing for the police is preservation of life. The first thing I need to do is find that victim. I'm hoping it's outside. The last thing I want to do is go into a pub on my own, because it won't be the safest place for me to turn up into.
Say that again.
Just first room on your right.
First room on your right. An 826, I found something from the ambulance crew. They're saying that it's inside, to the right.
That's his bag. His phone's in there. That's his bag.
Pack it in! Pack it in! Pack it in! Now! Pack it in! Pack it in! Pack it in! Calm down!
And yes, Tango 26. Have you got more people coming for us to assist? There's a lot of people here who just need assistance trying to create some space for the ambulance crew at the minute.
The ambulance crew look worried. The lad on the floor screaming. He's been stabbed. I don't expect any different. Drunk people aren't rational people. You can't have all these people crowding round, getting on top, tensions getting high, potentially starting more fights. You just need these people to listen to you and move out of the way. Fortunately, colleagues walking behind me.
He's in here to the room, just on the left-hand side. His mate wants the trolley out of here. That's what we need at the minute, yeah. There's a couple of people on licensing, that's it.
With backup on hand to disperse the crowds, Chris checks up on the condition of the victim.
I know you guys are busy. What's the initial assessment? So we can...
Stab wound, lower back, right side.
One.
How deep? Just the one.
Thank you. Basically, he's got one stab wound to the lower part of his back.
Yeah.
They don't know how deep it is, but he's currently stable, no issues. But he's going to QMC to have it properly looked at. At the minute, they're just trying to pack it as best they can. He's saying that he's not stabbed where we found him. He's saying it's happened outside of the main entrance.
While local officers control the crowds, Chris searches for witnesses to the stabbing.
You'd like to think with that amount of people, we'll have lots of good witnesses. The problem is drunk people are very, very unpredictable. Generally talk rubbish.
So if you're able to help, yeah. But if you're able to help, that's good for us. If you do know more, I
wish I knew. I'll tell you straight.
So
I'll tell you straight away.
You just said he was here.
I was here. Yeah.
You just said he was here.
No, I was here. I seen it all outside. What I'm saying to him is, I hope they get the CCTV. But it happened so fast.
Where exactly has it happened? Because he can't remember.
Right here. On this front bit, it was
where it says lounge.
I've never on the side bit. I've never seen so many weapons. It's great, horrible. Never come out again.
With witnesses unable to identify the suspects, the casualty is being taken to hospital with knife wounds. Coming up, as the investigation into the stabbing continues,
Priority if we've got another job coming in. Let's go.
there's more cup final night chaos.
Next job, an assault at a hotel in the city.
All you can hear is the radio constantly going.
You've got firearms within a traffic unit.
And 2.5 hours after the final whistle,
Take it. Is it this car?
a suspected drunk driver fights for his life.
Because he's against the tree, it's harder for him to get him out.
First room on your right.
First room on your right.
In Derby, 20 minutes after the Euro final,
Pack it in! Pack it in!
officers are dealing with a report of a double stabbing,
Mate wants the trolley out of here.
with a casualty being taken to hospital with knife wounds.
Stab wound, lower back, right side.
His attackers are unidentified.
If you're able to help, that's good for us.
But as the investigation gets underway,
Tango 26.
traffic cop Chris Ryan is contacted by control.
Priority if we've got another job coming in. Let's go.
Whereabouts was that? I can start to make my way. Next job, an assault at a hotel in the city, whereby they believe that 4 offenders involved have all disappeared into one of the hotel rooms. So they're just trying to generate enough cops be able to go and lock them all up.
You've got firearms within a traffic unit.
It's a robbery, potentially with weapons involved. We don't know exactly what those weapons are. I'd be very surprised, because of the football, that these lads haven't been out drinking. We need a lot of officers to be able to grab the people, transport the people, get hold of the forensics, get hold of clothing, get hold of weapons, and then any evidence that might be in that room.
An 826 mistake 6 at the...
Thank you.
We work on an operational support department which is designed to support the local areas as best they can. So my job when I get there is to see how I can help them.
What room number is it, please? Thank you. Yeah.
Directed up to one of the rooms where we find a few colleagues spread out across a couple of rooms trying to deal with multiple people.
Just bear with me, mate. I just need to go and look at CCTV offenders.
It's all right, yeah.
Chris keeps an eye on the 4 suspects, whilst local units figure out if anyone else is involved.
Tom just spoke to him, he's looking at CCTV, he thinks there might be another room with potentially another 2 offenders. They're just trying to get to the bottom of it.
As officers check CCTV...
Do you want to get hold of both of them?
Chris spots 2 young men leaving the hotel.
Yeah, we'll walk.
Just walk back to the...
Yeah.
Fine.
Come on.
Sam.
I said I can throw the police
Have you been in trouble before?
Yeah, a couple of times. Sorry,
What's your
that
name?
wasn't me on purpose.
No, what's your name?
We grab hold of these lads who instantly know that they were going to be grabbed hold of, which normal people don't.
Either way, I'm not going to kick off, because I know that if you arrest me, take me cells, if I'm kicking off, it's going to make it a lot longer. I was kicking off last time you met me, I remember you. I do. I was beating my best friend up.
While local officers arrest 2 more suspects,
We've got an attempt robbery on 1324.
Chris receives another alert.
Yeah, their local channel's not stopped. I think there's another stabbing on a different section, possibly related to the one that we went to a minute ago.
But before Chris responds, he's diverted to another call.
Police emergency. How many vehicles are involved?
So the report is a 1-vehicle RTC with a 45-year-old gentleman that's been trapped in one of the vehicles. It sounds as if it's come off the road and swiped into the car. Is it a post or a tree? They've dispatched a fire engine already and also an ambulance.
I expect him to either be drunk or on drugs, if not on both, because you don't drive around on a relatively slow speed road and crash into a tree so hard that you trap yourself in that vehicle.
Take it. Is it this car?
On arrival, traffic cop Craig Young is at the scene.
At the minute, because he's against a tree, it's harder for him to get him out.
You bagged him yet?
I can't get into him. You've got to get him out first. The person that's with him now did that to him, and he looks absolutely gone. Whether or not they're going to bring him out through the passenger door, or they'll create a big enough space where the tree is and get him out from the side of the tree, or failing that, they'll even bring him out the back of it. I've just speak to one of the fire commanders and just double check, but he's still conscious and he's still talking with EMAS, so that's a good sign.
He's very, very lucky. It could easily have been a fatal accident straight off before we even get there.
While fire crews struggle to free the driver, Craig checks the car he hit.
These ones, they take some punishment, but I think this one's, not a lot's going to be left of this one, I'm afraid. At the moment, from what I can gather, he's travelling from the direction of the motorway and he's coming straight down. He's lost control some way, shape or form. He's clipped this as he's lost control, and then from what I can gather, his vehicle is going to continue on its side, going a long ways, and he's literally come to stop in the tree.
Minutes later, the fire service managed to rescue the driver.
Injury-wise, I don't think they're that concerned, but they're going to do a full check on him on the ambulance, and I can update you from there. Once I get the knock from the paramedics, they'll say come in and have a natter, and then hopefully he is fit enough to give me a breath sample, which will then give me an indication of where we go from there.
While the paramedics care for the injured driver, Chris and Craig inspect the damage to his car.
But it could have been crushed a lot more if he'd hit this head on. It could have been a lot worse for him. It looks like he'll be very, very lucky.
Because he's took a good chunk out of the tree, hasn't he, as well?
Well, yeah, you got this branch here where
that could have gone through, that would have gone through, but it was obviously hit, it come back on itself.
Yeah.
That's where all the intrusion. It's complaining of leg pains, but I don't know if it's actually broke anything, but they'll find out when they go.
After a check on the casualty, Chris has more information.
The gentleman that was first dealing with him said he's mentioned coke.
Cocaine
and
as well.
he doesn't know whether or not he meant a can of coke, which I suspect not, and actual coke.
Special white powder.
Special white powder.
Got you.
You can tick that at the same time. It's easy enough, isn't it?
Absolutely plastered. He's completely plastered.
Yeah.
And he's being aggressive towards the ambulance staff, because he gave me they weren't driving as well.
I see.
Yeah, I got that.
Did you mention to him he was trapped in his own vehicle?
Trapped in your own, weren't me, I weren't driving. Okay, fair enough.
Not being the driver is a common story. Not being the driver whilst trapped physically in the driver's seat, I've only heard a couple of times because it's just so ludicrous.
There's an update from the paramedics about a change in the driver's condition.
Because of the head injury, this is why he's been quite combative.
Yeah.
He's been that way, but they can't establish that he's been in for a scan. So they're saying potentially could be life-changing, and obviously the rate of femur. So again, oh, hi guys, you're right. So that's what he's just said. Potentially could be life-changing because of the impact of the head injury, and that's why he's being awkward. Potentially could be that.
Not drugs and alcohol.
Well, I'm sure the drugs and alcohol are a factor in this, but then you go by what they said.
It's a massive strain on resources that's not necessary, because that gentleman, through his own choices, has got in that vehicle and made a choice to drive. He's then crashed his car at such a speed in such a manner that he's got himself trapped, which means 2 cops, an ambulance at that point, an off-duty paramedic, 2 fire engines are all there for several hours trying to deal with him.
Although the man is suspected of crashing whilst drunk or drugged, the police investigation will have to wait for the driver to be checked over at hospital. Coming up, the Euro crime wave continues.
We have taken a report of a robbery.
Yeah, 2-4.
As traffic cop Carl is called to a report of an alleged violent robbery.
You've got 2 choices. Either you catch him or I'll catch him, and I'll fight. Come on.
We have taken a report of a robbery.
Yeah, 2-4.
In Derbyshire, a surge in drunken violence during the Euros is keeping the police under pressure.
What's been stolen?
Mobile phone.
Traffic cop Carl Jackson is on his way to an alleged assault and robbery 15 miles north of Derby.
In order for it to be a robbery, not just a theft, then they have to sort of use violence or the fear of violence. In this case, in order to take the mobile phone, they've assaulted this person.
Apparently the offender is drinking in the hotel. The first male is white male, blue jeans, black jumper with a Burberry cap. Second male is a black male, black t-shirt with white writing.
To catch someone red-handed, then you need to find them with that property on them, and the sooner you find them, the easier that is.
Just look for the descriptions being given of those 2 people.
With the victim on his way to hospital with head injuries, Carl and local officers begin a search for the suspects.
I need to find these people because what they've done is horrible. And the person they've done it to needs some justice
Carl speaks to the victim's friends.
Oh, the mate's been knocked out outside there. He's had his phone nicked.
You've got two choices. Either you catch him or I'll catch him.
Right.
And I'll fight him.
Right, okay.
So there's two choices.
Right, well that's not a good choice, is
You
it?
can arrest me, I don't give a shit.
Well, we would.
I fully understand his anger. His mate's been assaulted and had his property stolen from him, but that type of behaviour hinders the police trying to deal with it.
Who's where, sorry?
They're on the marketplace now.
The two that have stole the phone?
Takeaway.
The takeaway. Can you just ask the local to come to the marketplace? These two lads are in the takeaway on the marketplace, apparently. I'm just walking around. All right.
I'm having a good time. How are you?
Lads, I need to speak to you two in particular. There's been a report that someone's had a phone nicked, and the description of the people involved is you and you.
You're taking the piss?
No.
No.
No, I'm not taking the piss.
No, he's taking the piss.
No.
These are two lads that if they wanted to kick off, they'd take some handling. So the last thing I want to do is be rolling around with people on the floor. So the best way to go into it is by talking.
Yeah.
It's not me, regardless.
Yeah, they've obviously picked two good-looking chaps and said it must be them that's nicked this phone.
Yeah, that's it.
That must be what it is.
Yeah, that's it.
If you weren't so good-looking, you wouldn't draw so much attention to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Look at that.
on that basis, I need to speak to you, I need to chat to you, and I need to search you and stuff, yeah?
It's not very fair, though.
What's not fair?
I've nicked nothing off no one for my entire life.
Well, that's commendable, but I don't know that. I've just been told a guy matching your description has done, and the other description is a chap dressed in black with white motif on his top.
What, teeth?
Motif, not teeth. You've got white teeth as well. You clean them. A white motif. Well, we'll stay in the queue. We'll stay here, but we're going to search you both, essentially.
For somebody to say that
These two chaps match the description.
You can
Hey, lads.
You know what's happening?
What's my passcode for my phone? What goal? At the minute, obviously you're going to register.
He's got a phone in his pocket, a picture of a young family on it, and he doesn't know the PIN code for it. And he matches the description of a youth that's nicked a phone. If it's a robbery and they're both involved, he's got the phone in his pocket, but he might be part of the assault and everything and all that, mightn't he? So we don't want to let him disappear. But the information given, someone's been assaulted.
I'm willing to just give up.
Okay. That makes life easier, doesn't it? But essentially, you match the description of someone involved.
No one, so.
Yeah. So, but you need to be questioned about it. Yeah. Same as your mate, right? So you're going to get arrested on suspicion of a robbery. So you don't have to say anything, but it may be defensive to not mention. When questioned, something which will later line in court, and anything you do say may be given evidence.
It was two good arrests, effectively. It's two people locked up for a serious offence, which has ruined some young lads' night out.
He's involved in some way, shape or form. Whether he's assaulted anybody or nicked anybody's phone is what we'll find out, but that'll all be part of his interview, won't it?
I believe when they got punched, they'd fallen to the ground and hit their head on a curb. That could have easily been a fatality, and then these wouldn't have been locked up for robbery, they'd have been locked up on suspicion of a murder or a manslaughter.
When you're steaming drunk, before you go home, even if you have assaulted somebody and nicked the phone, you want a kebab. So they went to a kebab shop. If they'd have gone straight home, they'd probably struggle to find them, wouldn't they? But thank the kebabs.
With drunken violence ever present, police forces across the country deal with more than 40,000 assaults and robberies every month.
Unfortunately, there's not a day that goes by in police work where there aren't incidents of violence in some way, shape or form. It's awful, really. I mean, to use violence to get what you want is sick, isn't it? These people are the lowest of the low. I think as a nation we should be tougher on it, but we're not. We always seem to bow down to the offenders and feel sorry for them and let them do what they want most of the time, give them lenient sentences, and we need to be tougher on people that are the wrong side of the law, but we seem to fail to do that as a nation.
In this episode,
No comment.
No comments?
No comment.
Oh, aren't you smart?
the man who took a disliking to Dave Shaw and failed to provide at the roadside
But you bite your nose off.
Really?
Yeah, well.
was tested in police custody
He's a bit wet, Sarge, because she's been in the river.
and provided an alcohol reading nearly twice the legal limit.
So he's going to be put in a cell to sober up. He'll be interviewed about it in the morning.
But he was released without charge for any offences, as it couldn't be proven he was driving. No action has been taken against him for the claims of assault.
I'll go through them with you, but they can't be.
So it's going to get seized.
What do you mean by seized?
As in seized, taken away.
The man who had his car seized by Carl Jackson after allowing his drunk friend to drive it home received no further action against him.
I will drive his car home.
Not if you had a drink, you won't, will you?
Yes, I will.
Well, no, you won't.
The driver pleaded guilty to drink driving, no insurance, and driving otherwise in accordance with his licence, and was fined and disqualified from driving for 14 months.
Looks absolutely gone.
The man who veered off the road and crashed into a tree has been charged with failing to provide, driving without due care and detention, driving otherwise in accordance with his licence, and no insurance.
I said, you trapped in your own... Weren't me, I weren't driving.
He didn't sustain any life-changing injuries, but could be facing a lengthy driving ban. And one of the drunk men arrested in the kebab shop for allegedly violently stealing a mobile phone is currently released under investigation for assault, but no further action was taken in relation to the robbery.
Give up.
Okay.
No action was taken against his friend for any offences. The victim of the robbery was later released from hospital, but police are awaiting medical reports.
If you arrest me, take me cells. If I'm kicking off, it's going to make it a lot longer.
4 men were arrested for robbery and criminal damage that occurred at the hotel Chris Ryan was called to.
Bear with me, mate, I just need to go and look at CCTV for a bit.
2 were eliminated from inquiries for the robbery, but the investigation is ongoing. The men detained outside the hotel are currently released under investigation.
Pack it in! Pack it in! Pack it in!
And 2 suspects have been arrested for violent disorder in connection with the stabbings at the pub on Euro's final night.
So if you're able to help, yeah, but if you're able to help, that's good for us.
The investigation is ongoing.
People drink, people do drugs, and if you involve drink or drugs in most things, it's going to go wrong. Same way it goes wrong with driving. So you'll get people involved in fights, you'll get people involved in stabbings. We get domestic violence at home. You'll get people who might be involved in more serious things like having some access to a firearm. When we have matches and we have people in drink, it's almost like there's a switch. The moment that final whistle goes, somebody flicks a switch and they just become almost wild animals. You may as well open the gates at a zoo some days. It's no different. You may as well.
Coming up.
Possible. Yeah, we've got it.
The battle against drugs gangs.
Straight up, Ronnie Bar question. You should be coming towards us.
As Derbyshire's road crime team go head-on with wanted suspects.
He's got his hand up his arse. Hand up his arse.
Dead end here, dead end.
Hunt down teenage joyriders.
Get here now! Get here! Here, towards me now!
And lead a county lines drugs crackdown.
Get out! Open the door! Open the door!
We had a Mercedes M-Class matching that description. 8 cops, no cops was earlier. No good plate on the front.
And there you are, Tango Sierra 3. I'm junction 28 here at the moment monitoring.
16 miles north of Derby, traffic cop Adam Shipley is halfway through a night shift.
Yeah, second time this evening, a silver Mercedes Jeep, no number plates on it. It's made off from local officers just around this area a few minutes ago, and we're just getting everybody into the area just to see if we can spot it again. There's plenty of police cars out and about. Finding it and stopping it are very different now. Driving at speed, it's a big heavy vehicle. We don't want to be putting ourselves in a position where we're going to get cars and us damaged and injured. Preferred option would be preemptive sting on it before we look at any boxing tactics.
I've just had a sighting of that vehicle. Station Road going opposite direction.
Nearby, another unit spots the suspect car.
I've come back round. I've lost sight of it.
Yeah, en route.
Sunday 61, clear across towards Chester, 4x4, silver, blacked out rear windows.
Control alerts all officers in the area, including Nick Lovett and the road crime team.
What we have noticed over the last few weeks, there is quite an increase across certain areas of the county in nighttime offending.
It was going back up to St Lawrence Road. I've come all the way back to St Lawrence Road. There's no signage, so it must have turned off.
Moments later, road crime cop Mark Scott closes in on the car.
It is a failed to stop. The vehicle's not reacting to the blue lights or sirens.
As soon as you get a failed to stop, automatically your adrenaline starts to pump. We join the police to catch bad guys, but you've also got to think of the consequences if something tragically does happen.
I appreciate the roads are probably pretty wet. Can you just give me an idea of how bad conditions are up there?
At Force HQ, Control assesses the risk of chasing the getaway car.
The roads are wet, it's drizzling at the moment, and there's no other vehicles on the road basically. Traffic flow very, very light.
So many thanks.
I am at Higham. I'll try and find a stinger location.
So left, signposted Morton. Lancashire 6, stay where you are. They feel to coming towards you.
We'll look at getting it stung, like setting up like a preemptive sting on the vehicle to get the tyres to sting it.
Oh, yes.
Right. Vehicle's wrong side of the road.
Just trying to find a place where I can get a stinger out.
We'll start on that country road in the general direction of West Houses. Just passing under the railway bridge. Shippers, where's your stinger location, mate?
Park Mill Drive, mate. Park Mill Drive.
With the pursuit heading towards Adam, he prepares the stinger.
Just across the road, it's a right. It's away from you, shippers.
The car has turned away from Adam in the opposite direction.
It's typical. He's literally just trying to think where he's going to go and trying to preempt where he goes.
Nearby, Nick catches up with Mark.
There he is. The one thing that pursuits have got in common, whether that be because they're involved in drug supply, or whether they've just been involved in an armed robbery, or whether they've got no driving licence. The one thing that they all have got in common is we don't want them, but be under no illusion. If you force us into a pursuit, we will not let you just drive away.
From 02, is there any tactic in mind for this vehicle at the moment?
I don't think you've got Amber Valley units set up with a Stinger. He seems to want to head back in that direction. We have turned right, new lane.
There are now 4 cars in the surrounding area closing in.
We're now entering Hilltip. The area remains low.
Temporary traffic lights on red, straight through them. The area remains low. You see no oncoming vehicles.
Is this a dead end?
Keep going up, there's another entrance.
He turns onto a road that is a really long horseshoe and comes back out onto the main road with no other escape route. We're going to try and sting it as it comes back out.
Highview Road, industrial estate.
Where's entrance?
I peel off, continue up the main road and try and set up a stinger.
Speed 60, we are approaching that second top entrance. Try and get Stinger out, mate, he's going to come out that entrance hopefully.
Oh, you bastard!
He swerved to miss the Stinger. We were right.
The mouth of the junction was quite wide. Instead of throwing the Stinger out, which is what I would normally do, I had to try and lay it out on the road, and unfortunately it was seen by the driver.
Second roundabout. not one, not one. It's coming back towards you, mate. Not two, not two. Taking a third to third.
Dead end here, dead end. And if someone can get towards Carter Lane West, we're going to take the footbridge back towards Carter Lane West.
Three suspects flee from the car.
Whether that's intentional for them to run or they just went down and didn't know, who knows. Their want to get away is so great. Into woods, it's dark, it's pitch black, I don't know the area.
Hey, you alright? Get out!
Coming up.
Can somebody come to me? I need some help.
While Nick closes in on the runaways,
Dog's about a minute out, and helicopters travelling as well.
the hunt is on for more suspects.
Get here!
And Nick and the road crime team
No pedestrian activity at the moment.
crack down on county lines drug dealing.
Get out! Open the door!
Dead end here, dead end.
11 miles south of Chesterfield, after a 12-minute chase with a stolen car. Derbyshire's road crime team is hunting down a gang of teenage runaways.
Get out! Can somebody come to me? I need some help to get this lad over the fence.
Road crime cop Nick Lovett arrests one of the runners, but there are still others hiding out.
From Victor 2, have we got a dog? To Carter Lane West, please. Hey, pal, you right?
Close by, another suspect is arrested. But one lad is still missing, and traffic cop Adam Shipley joins the search.
Our main priority is to sort of get some sort of containment on.
Dog's about a minute out, and helicopters travelling as well.
His adrenaline will be going, you know, he's just driven in a pursuit with the police, he's now ran off. So it's a case of just sort of staying calm, keeping communication with each other, and wait for helicopter or dog to arrive to start tracking.
Who'd you meet?
What's wrong?
One that's run off.
I don't know that one.
Well, come on, don't give me that, mate.
Honest to God, I'm being serious, I don't know that one. I've only met him tonight.
Well, dog will be able to smell him out, won't it? Yeah. It tasted some fresh meat, I think, tonight.
With one more suspect on the run, the cops send a dog in.
Police and the dog! Get out here now! Get here! You walk this way, you walk back, yeah? Just don't get too close.
We work very, very closely with our dog units. We get runners there, dogs can track runners from cars over open land. They can do a lot for us.
You walk this way, you can walk back, yeah? Yeah.
Have you got it? I'll go and get it. Get here now! Get here! Here, towards me now! Towards me! Towards me! I ain't gonna bite you, that thing is!
Mate, arms out to front for us, pal.
You've got nothing on me. I don't know that, do I? Until I've searched.
Leave this, please.
I'm more bothered about weapons and things that are gonna hurt me. Right, onto your side. Onto your thingies. Right, let's lift you up, guys. 1, 2, 3, up. Right, have you got anything on you that can hurt me or my colleague? Are you sure?
We've got everybody. Dog went in, started yapping, started shouting, and he just put his hands up and said, I'm over here. Said he's 15-year-old. Other one's 16 apparently. I don't know what they're up to. So, you know, time's it now, 1:30. They're up to no good. Probably out thieving, to be honest. It's best as luck could hope for. One of them's driving. So, you know, got to interview and find out who the driver is.
because the driver's going to have a lot of questions to answer for how he's driving tonight.
Don't ring my mum.
No. How old are you? 15. You can do that when you get in custody, but you're not doing it at the moment in time. She'll be in bed by now, shouldn't she, at 15? She'll be in bed, not in nick cars.
I'm quite shocked. Obviously, we didn't know. We don't know the ages. We don't know who it is. So to actually come back to the car and find a young kid sitting in the back of the car is somewhat alarming.
Collided slightly with that car that's parked here. You see, yeah, no plates on it at all. Quick look in the back of it. The number plates are on the back seats. It's actually got a space saver on it as well. Temporary tyre. That's like the spare wheel. Held on by three out of 5 bolts. So we're getting that recovered now and then drive and get a brew, I think.
But before he leaves, Adam searches inside the car.
Just shut the window up, stopping the rain getting in. There's a knife, looks like a dagger almost actually, on the front passenger seat there. Big scaffolding poles, a knife, like a kitchen knife, a big knife.
Yeah,
and it's like a tyre brace in the back as well.
The potential harm they could cause with those items is massive. So to get them detained, to get them items off the street and get that vehicle back is a huge bonus for us.
Nasty, tooled up.
The vehicle is recovered and then it is reported stolen in the morning.
15-year-old in a stolen motor, driven in that manner at this time in the morning is hideous, and it is happening quite a lot. And kids even younger than that are getting themselves involved in this kind of criminality. Well, it doesn't bode well for his future if he continues on this course of criminality that we believe he's involved in. 15, should be tucked up in bed, shouldn't he? Ready to go to school tomorrow.
When they're not pursuing teenage suspects, the road crime team's focus is the war on drugs.
I think you'll find police car.
After a recent surge in drug supply across Derbyshire,
Stay there, stay there.
Nick Lovett and Sergeant Remy Hopkins are in an unmarked car at the start of an operation targeting county lines drug dealing.
There's a range of vehicles for us to look at which had drugs connections and that were transporting the drugs from out of county, then distributed around Chesterfield.
We've had a sight in the vehicle. On the off chance, is it worth trying McDonald's car park?
Approaching Chesterfield, the car triggers police cameras.
It's a nice Merc. I like a grey-blue type thing.
Criminals now are using a range of vehicles. They can be anything from little mundane cars to quite high performance vehicles, so there's no guessing on what county lines drug dealers will use.
There.
Contact.
It's going to be Derby Road.
Positioned for the second, Derby Road, which it is. It's the second.
NA receiving Oscar Romeo Victor 5. Yeah, we're not behind it, but we've had a sighting of it, Hornsbridge onto Derby Road. I can't tell you how many occupants there is. The windows are heavily tinted, so the ID of the driver is unknown. I can't see unless he's gone around the back of the building. Gone up there. There, it's Derby Road.
It's Derby Road. It's just going around the near side bend towards Tesco.
As Remy and Nick keep track of the car, nearby, 4 other units, including teammates Dave Bull and Ant Horsley, join the pursuit.
Keep getting intermittent sightings of the vehicle. I'll let you know when we are directly behind it.
Well, I'll go straight on if you want to get right.
Yeah, it's there.
It's continued. No deviation, Derby Road.
Sure it is. The vehicle's continued A61 and is now approaching the traffic light control junction and to left, Storforth Lane. We are in a high performance unmarked vehicle, pursuit management train. We are waiting for other units to be with us. There.
What's within his mirrors, mate? Yes. Yeah.
With Nick and Remy preparing to strike.
Yeah, stand by. We're going to look at putting a strike on the vehicle.
The rest of the team is ready to surround the vehicle from behind.
Yeah, go. Get out! Open the door! Open the door!
Open your hands up, mate. Yeah.
Some drugs in door panel there, is it?
Okay, mate, yeah, I can see him. Numerous that's a Class A can be locked up. Load of money in this pocket. Yeah.
A lot of it's shock and awe, and it stops them being able to think logically and do things that they would normally do, like throw drugs out the window, start eating SIM cards, all things like we've seen before, snapping phones, all sorts.
Hey, one of my colleagues here just been searching your pocket. You've obviously had bits of tourists, you've got some drugs there. Are you alright, mate? Yeah, it's just a bit around. Yeah, we'll sort that out when we get to the police station. Come with me then.
With the suspect on his way to custody, Nick's discovered more suspicious items.
We found a quantity of cash, phones and a cling film ball full of what we believe to be Class A. We're just now going to clear the road. We've got the keys, haven't we?
When we do any kind of stop, what we want to do is maximise the possibilities of obtaining everything evidentially that we require. Not only what they carry illegal drugs-wise or cash-wise, it's other things that prove their involvement in supply.
At the police station, Nick examines the evidence further.
There's quite a few in there. Inside the cling film ball is individual deals. They appear to be white at the moment in time, but there might be some brown in there as well. So it might be a mixture of cocaine and heroin. To get that back is a good result. That's been ringing non-stop. Fun of that.
A big part of that investigation will be attributing phones to people. We then will look at them, and often they can hold a wealth of information that we require, and that assists us in bringing that successful prosecution against that person. It also may give us information beyond that person, so they are key for us.
Recovered from the vehicle, we've got 2 phones. That's not ringing, so we expect that to be his own clean personal phone. And then we've got a black Nokia that's been really active since the time we stopped him. It's just been ringing constantly. What we suspect that to be is the dirty phone, the burner phone, which will be used to conduct his drug dealing activity.
Coming up.
I'm going to have to go. Bully's got contact.
Nick and Remy are called straight back into action.
Straight on. Johnny bypass.
As police cameras identify another car on the operations hit list.
Get out! Get out!
Towards you, going towards you.
And a county line suspect tries to force his way out of trouble.
He's got his hand up his arse, hand up his arse. I'm going to have to go. Bully's got contact.
Come to you, mate. See how many's in it?
In Chesterfield, Derbyshire's road crime officers Nick Lovett and Remy Hopkins are part of an operation targeting county lines drug dealing.
Straight on. Johnny bypass.
Police cameras have identified a car linked to the operation's hit list. Colleague Dave Bull is already tailing the suspect.
Who's with it? Just Bully. Yeah. OCG, just for information, we've got a car behind it. It's just travelling towards Ronnie Town Centre now.
Yeah, cheers, Nick. I just did your read.
We're just making ground from Chesney, Nick.
We do need to get that vehicle stopped as quickly as we can.
The longer that a subject vehicle is being followed, the more chance that they have got of noticing that the same vehicle's behind them for a length of time and then becoming curious as to why. And once they do that, we're then possibly into the risk of a pursuit.
Go straight up, Johnny bypass, yeah, Johnny bypass. And then come off here. You should be coming towards us.
Official plans, yeah, other top two vehicles to reinforce stop.
As Dave updates control, Nick and Remy are trying to get ahead of the suspect car.
When we get through here, mate, we'll knock them off. Still coming our way.
Pass through the temporary roadworks.
Yeah, you've got Romeo Victor 5 and Romeo Sierra 1 coming towards you from Unstone. Received.
Yeah, received.
I want to get as far up that road as I can before I think we're in danger of passing, and then to turn off the road and watch the vehicle come past us.
We're just ahead and waiting.
Oscar Romeo Victor 4, confirm vehicle start.
There you go.
Yeah, received.
Clear, mate. We're directly behind you.
Nick and Remy fall in behind Dave and prepare to stop the car.
There should be an opportunity at these lights coming up.
Yeah. Mate, if you just cut his front corner off, I'll get right up behind him.
That's the best bet, 5-3.
Get out! Get out! Open the window! Open the door! Open the door!
I'm out.
Okay, listen to me. You're now being detained under Section 23 of the Administrative Drugs Act for the purpose of a search. There's information linking this vehicle to supply controlled drugs. Is there any drugs in this car? Any drugs on you? You'll be strip searched. There is some on you.
Someone come out this window.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see it, mate. As we've been behind it, waiting for the lights to change, the front passenger has been seen to open his window and just started to spit something out, so I'm just trying to see what it was. There's nothing in there.
The drain may be empty, but Nick has spotted something suspicious behind the passenger's seat.
Oh, okay. You're now under arrest. Okay. On possession with intent to supply Class A controlled drugs, given the fact that behind you is quite a big chunk of drugs.
With dealer quantities of drugs found, the team confiscate the suspect's phone.
You're not giving me the thing, number, why not? He's got my girlfriend's stuff in that.
That is the same bullshit we hear day in, day out. It's got pictures of me on, it's got pictures of me on. It's crap. At the end of the day, mate, it's got drug dealing messages on, and you know it, I know it, everybody knows it, and that's why you won't give you a pin. So stop playing silly beggars.
The lengths that criminal networks will go through to protect those devices, it's a never-ending cycle. Once they believe one line or one phone number is compromised, it will just revert onto another.
We don't think he's thrown something, do we? We think he's spat, haven't we? Come on then, mate. Jump out for me. Jump out. Them keys that are right by your feet, who's them? Yours? Not yours? There's nothing of yours in this car, is it? It's amazing. Right, just stand there for me. Anything on you shouldn't have. Nothing in your pockets that's going to hurt me when I search you. Okay, because I get really, really fed up if I get hurt after I've asked you. Are they your house keys? So you don't have a house? Oh, bollocks. Oh, you're full of it.
It really helps though, you start telling the truth.
Well then, mate, sit in. Take a seat. It's quite a large cling film ball, and in there there's individual wraps of what we believe to be Class A, probably cocaine or crack cocaine. It's quite a substantial amount, so they've been arrested for possession with intent to supply.
As well as the young passenger, the 61-year-old driver will also face questioning in custody.
Did he reverse into our car?
He did.
Did you reverse into our car?
What the hell going on?
No, you know exactly what was going off, boyo, didn't you? You knew exactly what was going off and you were going to try and do one.
Criminal damage to police vehicle, that.
They probably don't know that much about each other apart from what they're involved in. They're just put together possibly by whoever's next up the chain of command. You know, you go with him and take this from A to B, and it puts all manner of people together that you wouldn't necessarily put together in normal walks of life.
Your day's not going well, is it? No, you've damaged our car.
We deal with quite a broad range of dealers.
In here, please. Sort of lathering your hands with hand gel. It's a service we provide here, you know.
From people that are carrying multi-kilos of Class A drugs, all the way down to the street dealers where it is already cut and it is now in individual wraps for that person to deal.
Are you dependent on any drugs or alcohol?
Cocaine.
Crack cocaine?
Yes, and I have some heroin now and then.
When did you last use either of those things?
Yesterday.
The way that people get absorbed into that kind of way of life is quite disturbing because they need more and more, and they have such a habit they then get these kind of drugs on tick. Do not put your hands anywhere near your mouth or your pockets or anything like that. I'll have to make the assumption that you're trying to secrete something or swallow something where they don't pay for it at the time they owe. Then all of a sudden that debt becomes, right, you work for me now. And what choice do they have? They've gone from a user to actually now a dealer because they've now got to take drugs from A to B, or they've got to go and sell it on the street to pay off their debt.
With more than 1,000 gangs linked to county lines across the UK, the road crime team are a vital part of Derbyshire's war on drugs.
If there are any traffic mobiles in the area, knows if there isn't. It's a black Seat Leon that we're looking for.
After a successful operation in Chesterfield, the team is back on duty, and PC Ant Horsley is leading the search for yet another county line suspect.
It's for drugs, mate. Somebody suspected of bringing drugs into Long Eaton from Nottingham. Thanks, mate.
You could say 75% potentially could be dealers that are coming from out the Force County area. You always find that the drug dealers that we're stopping and arresting within a small town, 9 times out of 10 are from a bigger city. So they're obviously of the opinion that if they're travelling out of that city into these small towns, they can get away with anything.
We're looking for a black Seat Leon. The information we've got is that he's dealing heroin and crack cocaine, which is Class A drug. We're just sort of sorting out our plan now, or the likely route it will take, and the best way of stopping it.
Using a combination of intelligence and police cameras, Ant and the rest of the team are travelling towards the outskirts of Nottingham.
We need enough resources as far as we're concerned to actually do the stop safely and make sure we can get the car stopped and him detained. Yeah, cheers, mate.
We could see that on a daily basis, sort of 3-4 times a day, the vehicle was travelling in and around the town centre itself. We'll look at what roads that he might be using, so the possible route that he could take. We had 3 unmarked cars and 1 marked car, which we use as part of our tactics.
Ant parks up, hidden away from the route the suspect is believed to take. All he can do now is sit and wait.
This is us. This could come in about 2 minutes, or it could come in about 5 hours. Hopefully not the latter. Because you've literally got to be, you know, watching every single car that comes past you. If that goes on for like a couple of hours, it can be tough. Just for information, the vehicle that we are looking for is hitting ANPR in and around Nottingham area. It might come this way, it might not. Could be coming soon. Well, when I say soon, it'd probably like to be 15 minutes. What's this? Oh, that's what's going on.
I think you've got to be a determined person to do this job. You know, there's times when you're looking into certain criminals, you know, you can spend hours waiting for a vehicle or hours looking into crime patterns, and unless you keep going and you keep getting out there and you keep stopping these cars, you know, you won't get a good result.
Hello?
We've just had some information this male might be using another vehicle that's registered to his brother. Can I just pass you those details as well?
Okay.
So it's either the first one or this one, comes from Nottingham into Long Eaton. We'll be looking at putting a stop on it. So we've now got to be looking out for 2 cars. So our job now gets even harder. They're both black Seat Leons, so they must be like family car to buy, mate, to deal drugs in.
But after a 4-hour wait,
It's a stand down for now for you.
with no sign of the 2 Seat Leons, the team is instructed to return to base.
So no show for today, but we are going to deploy on it again another day. We will get him. Hopefully find him. Very disappointing and frustrating, really, because you want to get the vehicle, you want to catch these people, and ultimately, if they are out there dealing drugs, then we want to get them arrested.
One week later, armed with more intel about the movements of the Nottinghamshire suspects,
Yeah, Steve, mate.
with the team positioned across the area, Ant and Dave are waiting for a sighting.
We'll play the long game with these sort of investigations and the people we were looking at that we suspect are dealing drugs. If it doesn't come on a day or perhaps 2 days, we won't give up.
I think it's going to be us who sees it first. Let's see.
Yeah. Possible. Yeah, we've got it. Going towards you.
Immediately, the officers move in to block the suspects, boxing it in from the front and behind.
He's got his hand up his arse,
Desperate to avoid arrest, the driver tries to ram his way out. Coming up, officers are forced to smash their way into the car.
If he is trying to dispose of drugs, we need to get him under control and arrested as soon as we possibly can.
And suspecting he's trying to hide something,
He's had his hands definitely down his pants. No, I didn't. Yes, you did.
the driver is taken into custody.
Going to do a full strip search. Do you understand?
In Derbyshire, road crime team officers Ant Horsley and Dave Bull are on an operation targeting county lines drug suspects.
Yeah. Possible. Yeah, we've got it.
With a sighting, the team move in to stop the suspect's car.
Going towards you.
Surrounding it from the front
He's got his hand up his arse,
and behind. But the driver tries to ram his way out. Believing the driver is trying to hide some drugs, Ant and the team need to arrest him fast.
If he is trying to dispose of drugs, we need to get him under control and arrested as soon as we possibly can.
Get your hand behind your back. Gonna set you up, alright? Yeah. Yeah? We'll roll you over, and then set you up. Why are you doing that to my car, lad? You didn't open the door. What are you doing to my car, mate?
We'll have it. You just rammed our cars, mate. We've got blue lights on. You've rammed it. Yes. Burst into it. You burst into it. You burst into it.
Do not resist, right? It's alright, it's cool.
He's had his hands definitely down his pants.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
How can I put my hand down my side if I was driving, reversing to you?
It's more common that people might think they'll keep drugs up the backside.
As well as the driver, there's also a female passenger detained by the officers.
We need to make sure that he's not passed her any drugs or any weapons or any phones.
It's ready, mate, it's ready.
Both suspects now face strip searches at the police station.
Do you want to jump in this one with me? Blue lights, brother. Blue lights. You're not listening, are you? You need to look in your mirrors before you reverse.
Sit down, sit down. We'll talk about it in a minute. Ollie.
You got anybody?
Right.
Charlie, just grab a key from here, mate. Are they your house keys, look?
My house keys are in there. That's my car keys.
Right, I want this as well.
Why? That's
let go of the key. You're detained at the minute under.
For what?
You're detained under Section 23 of the Misuse of Drugs Act.
I haven't done anything.
Whilst the rest of the team take the suspects away, Remy and Mark inspect the damage to the police car.
Let's reverse this back slightly, mate. Let's have a look at it.
So he's been detained at the minute for a search under Section 23 of the Misuse of Drugs Act, but at the bare minimum he'll be coming in for a dangerous drive, failed to stop, and criminal damage.
Despite the successful arrests, Remy is injured.
I had to dive in the car to get him to stop the engine. I've not had a chance to get the handcuffs on him as I've got in the vehicle. I've literally just had to grab his hands. So I've not been able to get the door open. It would have meant letting his hands go. He's clearly seen the blue lights in front of him and then reversed into us at some speed.
Whilst the other officers check the car,
Sit down there.
Right.
Ant and Dave are inside the station dealing with the driver.
We need to search you, and we have to do it by strip search. All right? Have you got any drugs on you? No.
I've clearly seen him putting his hands down his pants, so you really have to believe in what you've seen and stick to your guns.
I suspect that you've got drugs on you, or there's drugs in your car. Due to the actions you've just done, as in reversing and trying to get away from us, and at the same time appearing to me to put something down your trousers, we're going to do a full strip search. Do you understand?
Thankfully on this occasion I backed myself and it was the right thing to do. Several wraps of Class A drugs, heroin and crack cocaine were found.
With powers to search an address linked to the driver,
Let's tell you what, let me lift it further up.
officers find further quantities of crack cocaine and heroin, resulting in the driver and his brother being charged with conspiracy to supply Class A drugs.
The information we had that this suspect had been dealing on a regular basis on our patch, been doing this for quite a while. So the investigation we did, the actions we took by arresting him and then finding the drugs, takes him out of the scene and he's no longer able to deal drugs.
The man's girlfriend is also under investigation due to her links to the two suspects. With 3 million people taking drugs across England and Wales every year, the illegal drugs market is worth an estimated £9.4 billion. But with drug deaths reaching an all-time high, the effects of drugs are ever present.
It's just a battle that we have to keep fighting because it does bring misery to people. Genuinely does take lives. But then we see the impact on other people, your burglaries, your property thefts, even down to your shop thefts. Because everybody's got to feed the habit. The associated crime really does have an impact, a massive impact on hard-working, decent people. Insurance goes up because of that car getting stolen. House insurance goes up because their house getting burgled. Gun crime, gang-related crime in relation to drug turf, drug debts. The circle's massive, and you've got drugs right in the middle of it.
In this episode,
Dead end here, dead end.
the 3 teenage joyriders caught running away from a stolen car have all been released under investigation whilst the police further their inquiries.
1, 2, 3, up.
Yeah, go.
Get out! Open the door! Open the door!
The Mercedes driver, whose car windows had to be smashed, was arrested for disqualified driving, no insurance, and possession of cannabis. He's been released under investigation whilst police await the results of phone and drug analysis.
You're now under arrest, given the fact that behind you is quite a big chunk of drugs.
The two men caught with suspicious wraps in the back of their car have both been released under investigation pending drug analysis. The drugs are thought to have an estimated value of around £2,000.
He's got his hand up his arse,
And the County Lines drug suspect in the black Seat Leon, who tried to ram his way out of an arrest, has been remanded in custody on suspicion of possession with intent to supply crack cocaine and cannabis and dangerous driving, and is awaiting sentencing. His brother received 67 months in prison for possession with intent to supply heroin and crack cocaine. The female passenger was charged with possession with intent to